Hello, hello. I think we are live. And this week, we are going to help you to actually make some progress on your goals. So, how many times have you set a goal for yourself, or maybe you're just not really even setting a goal for yourself, you're setting a wish for yourself? And maybe you're even shitting on yourself a little bit of, I should exercise more, I should move more, I should have more vegetables, I should eat healthier, all of these different things. That's a whole other live that we'll talk about, is how to change that language and be more empowering with yourself. But let's talk today about how to really get some specific traction on your goals this week. So, before we get started, I just wanted to say that if you're watching me on a Facebook business page or on a YouTube channel, you can come join us in the Sweet Life group. So, in the Sweet Life group, we are helping women who are juggling all of the things to reclaim their energy and their ideal health without counting calories, carbs, or macros. And we're helping each other stay on track. So you can come join us in the group. You can find the group link in the comments on the Facebook business page or on YouTube. So the power of being specific. So one of the books I've recently read, I love reading books and bringing you things that I find from the books because they really are life changing. You can kind of see all of my books on the shelf back there. One of the books that I read was Mindset by Carol Dweck, which was a great book, but in it, she really talked about how, in order to make progress on our goals, we need to be specific. She also really talks about the big picture of this, of mindset, about the fact that we can really change how we think about ourselves and how we do things. We can change and understand that what we did in the past is not necessarily what we're going to do in the future. And that was, very empowering. But then it comes down to, so we have these big ideas, we can change how we think about ourselves, but then it comes down to the actual day to day, minute by minute life that we're living, and how do we actually accomplish real goals. So, how many of you want to feel better, get healthier, move more? Maybe you want to, shed a few pounds. Maybe you just really want more energy. You want to be feeling better. Some people, I hear a lot from people of, I'm not sure in 10 years if I'm going to be around to be able to do this with my kids or my grandkids, things like that. So it's easy to set goals that are really vague, like I need to move more, I need to eat more vegetables. And honestly, we all do this. I do this as well. So we know the things that we want to do to get to where we want to go. But how often is one week the same as the last? So has that ever happened to you where you have a desire that you're going to do something, and then the weeks go by and nothing changes, and the weeks go by and nothing changes, and you kind of have the same goals over and over again, and it gets frustrating. So when our brain hears things like move more, eat more vegetables, it's so broad. There are so many possibilities that we don't know what to do. So let's take the example of eating more vegetables. We can say, I want to eat more vegetables, but when we go to the store, we're blindsided by all of the possibilities. So one of the things that could happen is we say eat more vegetables and that's the end of it, and we forget about it and we go to the store and we don't do anything. Nothing changes. Another possibility, we say eat more vegetables, we go to the store and then we see all of the selection and it's kind of overwhelming, and we're thinking, well, I could do a salad, I could do a soup, I could do it this, but I don't know. And we say, oh, I don't know. I don't have time for this. And we don't do anything. Or we can say, I need to eat more vegetables. And we go to the store and we buy this, we buy kale, we buy this, we buy that, we buy broccoli and sweet potatoes and carrots. We buy all these great things and we feel so good because we're going to be so healthy with all these vegetables. And then we get home and with the intention of, oh, I'm going to find a way to use these, or I can have these as a snack or whatever. And then it never happens because you open the fridge and, okay, there's the broccoli that I have to take out and I have to wash it and I can cut it, or I could just go to the pantry and have the crisps over there. So it's, a lot easier to do that. So sometimes that's the things that are happening. But if you think about it, the things that actually get done in our lives tend to be very small and very specific. So, for example, if we need to go to the doctor's office, we first will identify what doctor, we will find the number, we make an appointment, we have a specific day that we are going to the doctor, we have a specific things that we are talking about. All these very specific things that are happening, and that is how that happens. So, this is exactly what we need to do with our goals as well. So, if you're setting a goal, if you know I need to eat more vegetables, I want to move more, then we need to break that down, just like the doctor's office example, and know exactly what we are going to do. So, is it, I am going to go to yoga this Saturday morning? Or is it, I will have a salad before a meal on Wednesday of this week? Or is it on Monday, I will eat fruit for dessert? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean just because you're setting this specific goal is not a guarantee that it will happen, because we've all had that experience where we've said, I'm going to do this thing on that particular day, and it doesn't happen because there is still resistance. Resistance is still a very real force in the world. And resistance is basically, I don't want anything to change. I'm comfortable where I am. So that can still happen. But if we at least set a specific thing and then focus on that one day, I am going to, do this particular thing. I'm going to have the salad. I'm going to go to the yoga class, whatever it is. Then that is when it actually is likely to happen. So, as you're setting your goals, we set goals every Monday in this group. As you're setting your goals, it might be easier for you to have a specific plan. If you want to drink more water, how are you actually going to be able to do that? Just saying drink more water is too broad, it's too overwhelming. It's hard to break it down and wrap your arms around it. But you can get more specific and say, I know that I have 3 meals and 2 snacks. So if at every one of those meals and snacks, I at least have 12 ounces of water, and, oh, by the way, here is a glass that has, or a water container that has 12 ounces. Then when I stop, when I'm hungry and I stop to, hopefully you're feeding yourself, when I stop to have meals and snacks and I drink 12 ounces at each one of those, that's 60 ounces right there. That's, one of the ways that you can get that done, rather than just hoping that you'll drink more, rather than just hoping that you will notice your thirst, rather than just hoping that you will remember to randomly drink more throughout the day. There are so many different things coming at us, because hope is really not a strategy. We need to do some specific things to make changes happen. And we can make massive, amazing changes in our life with these very small, specific things. So this week, whatever goal that you were picking, see if you can get one really small, specific thing. Now, it's easy. Also, the temptation is to try to be specific and make it gigantic. So, I'm going to run 10 miles every day, whatever it is. Now, we know that that's not realistic, but it could be, I'm going to put my running shoes on and I'm going to go out for at least 15 minutes and see what happens. On this particular day, on Monday at 3:45, that is what is going to happen. So we want to try to break things down and get more specific, because that is really where change happens, is when we can be specific. Now, the whole language around it, I should do this, all of that, we'll talk about that in a different one. Resistance is another thing that would be great to talk about. Why don't we make these changes? Why are we stuck in the same place? Why do we keep repeating the same patterns? Those are all part of resistance that we can talk about. But I'd love to know for you, what is your specific goal that you will do this week? So, one of my goals that I shared before, I don't know, I think it was in the self care, is, I have some health goals which are great. Always getting more vegetables, which is good. I've been having a salad before dinner all this week. I actually, when you buy the spring mix in stores and you get this giant spring mix and it goes bad pretty quickly, right? And you get a lot in it. So I actually huge this week. I ate all of the spring mix before it went bad. So that was like a huge goal of just doing that every night before I had my dinner. But another goal that I have is there is a piano in my house right now. And I have always wanted to know how to play the piano, or that for a long, long time now, I've wanted to learn how to play the piano. And for a long time, there wasn't a piano in my house, but now there is actually a piano in my house. So just wishing about learning how to play the piano is not getting it done. So same for me of making it very specific of what night this week am I going to, or maybe it's over this weekend, am I going to actually open up? I have a little learn to play piano lesson from an app. Am I going to at least open it and, try to follow along and do that? So that is the only way that that is going to happen. Me continually just wishing to learn how to play piano, it's not getting me anywhere. I've been wishing to learn how to play the piano for years now. So I'd love to know, you can drop in the comments, what is the specific thing that you will do this week? What is the specific goal that you're working on? What is the specific thing that you will do this week to make this happen? And I'd love to know what other things you might struggle with. You can feel free to DM me and we'll talk about it here. And I will be seeing you in the group.